Good morning guys. We're back at it again with another video. All right, so we're making some more headway on the garage here. So I spent the last number of days finishing off these end walls here. So you can see they're done all the way to the top. So a better view of it from down here. So we've got all those horizontal pieces that we're going to be able to attach our sheet metal to. And since we're only able to attach these corner brackets on the trusses on one side when they're down on the ground, I had to go and attach all these other ones up in the air here. So they're fully complete now. And then I added all these screws for these eave pieces. And then yesterday I just finished up adding all these extra supports for the 2x4 framing here. And now we're ready to install the rest of the hat channel. There's well over 1,000 screws that I had to put in. So my arms, my hands, a little bit sore, but we're still good to go today. So we're gonna start with a high piece of hat channel that starts at this end and goes all the way down to the other end there. And then we're gonna be double checking and making sure that we have our 4 foot on center all the way across. Once we get all these side hat channel pieces on, then we can start with the roof purlins up there. And then I'll probably have to start working on the doors because after we get the roof purlins up and then I get the lean on done, and then we can start sheet metal. So it doesn't sound like there's a lot of work, but there's still a good amount to do. Enough chit chat, let's get started. So one thing that I've had to do with this garage project is learn how to do a lot of these steps myself and be creative with how I do it. So I put a screw in the first truss piece there so that I could set the hat channel on it and then use my quick grips to secure the other end into place. And once I get the quick grips on, then I can put some screws in on that end piece there on the hat channel. Then I can use the level here and just make sure that it's nice and vertically or horizontally level. And one thing that I realized afterwards is that these hat channel pieces they have a slight shape like a banana, so they're not perfectly straight. And so using a level in this regard really didn't even do much of a difference. I ended up kind of just eyeballing a lot of it and just making sure that it's about the same height up to the corner of the eave there. And ideally doing this hat channel would be easier to do it from the outside of the structure. But these genie lifts with the little tiny wheels on them, they don't really work very well obviously on rough ground. So when I do the sheet metal, I'll have to put a lot of plywood down and I'll have to drive the lift off of the slab. And so that's why I'm trying to do as much of this on the slab myself, even though it is a little bit awkward. And one thing that I'm making sure is right on point is that I'm maintaining a 4 foot on center all the way across. These hat channel pieces are exactly 12 feet, so they'll span across 3 of the truss pieces. And you want it to line up on the center of the next truss piece so that when you put your next set of hat channel on, it will line up right in the middle of that vertical framing member. And right here what I noticed was that the distance between the 2 vertical pieces was about 3/4 of an inch too short. So I ended up just cutting a piece of 2x4 at 46 inches and kind of wedging it in there just because it would actually stretch the building almost, so to speak, so that my hat channel pieces would continually to line up in the center of the framing pieces. And when some of these pieces don't fit exactly how they should, you got to get a little creative with how you're actually going to be able to do it properly. Because if I didn't do that and stretch that one kind of framing piece out, then what would have happened is that I would have had to cut the hat channel to size. And I wanted to kind of eliminate doing that because then that kind of shortens the roof size just by a small amount. And then you start running into issues with other pieces as well. So taking the time and making sure all this is done right is really of utmost importance. And this piece of the hat channel was definitely the most important because as I go and do the roof purlins, I want to make sure that I'm still maintaining that 4 foot on center with all of these pieces. And it was only this piece here that really gave me any trouble in terms of getting it exactly 4 foot on center. The rest of them I was able to just move it by hand just to get it into the right spot, but that one was definitely a little bit too tight for trying to do it by myself. Again, not exactly sure why I'm still using the level, but I don't think I've realized at this point that the pieces of hat channel had a slight kind of banana bend to them. And again, I'm using this piece of 2x4 just to make sure that everything's going to be exactly 4 foot on center. You also notice that I'm not wearing my harness while I'm doing this. I didn't have to really kind of lean out awkwardly outside of the lift, so I didn't feel like I was in any danger of falling off the lift or anything like that. And sometimes, especially when I'm going up and down and I'm going out of the lift so much, is that the harness can actually be quite annoying. Because I have to keep unclicking and then clipping back in, and I felt confident that I wasn't going to fall off the lift. And like I mentioned on the last video, a lot of these steps get quite tedious just because of the size of the garage. So I probably won't show too much more of the hat channel, but we'll definitely show lots of footage of the roof purlins going in, and that'll really solidify the entire structure. All right guys, so I just wanted to give you a bit of an update on some of the progress on the garage. The next few weeks are going to be slow going on this project, unfortunately. So Hannah and I were going away for a few days. We're leaving tomorrow morning. And then when we get back, I've got a surgery planned. Ooh, so what's going on with that? If you follow me on Instagram, you know what it is about, but we'll definitely be talking about it in an upcoming video, what it means for us and what's going to be happening out here. To give you a hint, I'm getting something reversed that I had done a long time ago. I know a lot of you are going to be able to guess what I'm talking about, and unfortunately for after the 2 weeks after I have my surgery, I'm not supposed to do any work. I'm not supposed to lift anything over like 40 pounds. I don't know exactly what I'm going to be doing during that time, but I've got a lot of stuff that I can work on the computer, and then I've got a few other video ideas that I think a lot of you guys are really going to like as well. Awesome guys, thanks so much for watching. We'll catch you on the next video. Talk to you soon. Peace.